got ourselves the final best of 3 coming through for you very, very shortly. We've got reDo, we've got Pegasus. We were talking a little bit before the break about how these guys actually haven't met in tournament before. Had a quick little cheeky look up on the ladder. They have actually met one time. reDo got the better of Pegasus in that ladder game. But as everyone knows, when in tournaments compared to ladder, means nothing. They're completely different environment, completely different atmosphere. We've got a Hades versus Ra on Ghost Lake here, Winston. What do you reckon about this one? Keys it up. Victory.
Yeah, I
What's
don't know.
happening?
I like it. I like it. I'm excited. Goat Lake. Let's go, baby. Let's go. It'll be really fun. I'm excited. And again, thank you to Drongo for the raid. Outback Octagon has been a great tournament. Been enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's really
Me
cool to
too.
see.
I mean, it's so much fun, you know, like
Mhm.
all of these different game modes. There's actually so many like really, really fun competitive game modes that, you know, sometimes get a little overlooked in the tournament space. And so I mean that's awesome to be running the free for all things. There's also like random things like in mythology, we have this game mode called Tiny, which
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played it or
Oh
not,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
it gets pretty sweaty. Yeah, you could get to a very high level on that map. Could definitely have some fun times going on for sure.
Yeah. I remember the tiny metas. That was a good time. Way, way, way back. I played that back on the ESO days. It's fun.
Yeah.
Infinite
Well,
res, no space.
that's
There
right.
was
Infinite res, no space, and
everyone's just building
hilarity.
their temple adjacent to each other. It's kind of jank, but fun, right? It's cute
Yeah,
because you don't have to pan or look around. Like you can see everything that's happening, right?
that's it.
Um, you don't have to pan around to get a sense of things, which can make it really comfortable at times. All right, we're
Yeah.
just 2 minutes away from our next game. First game of this set, we're going to be casting a bow 3 here, Boyd, correct? So this is
Right.
Pegasus for reDo. We've already covered that. Tell me about the draft. How you feeling about Zeus, Freyr, Isis remaining for reDo after this game 1?
Well,
Hmm.
you've got Anatolia to think about. So obviously Isis is there for the Anatolia as a bit
Right.
of a safe pick. Zeus can also work on Anatolia in a big way. Pegasus obviously is looking for Gaia on that Anatolia. We've seen that time and time again. You can pick Loki on Anatolia as well. I think Loki's very good there. There's a pretty brutal berserk Narok that's possible
Mhm.
for Loki to get a quick win at around 15 to 16 minutes. That's gonna be very unexpected. Watering Hole, you got a couple of good gods there for reDo as well. Freya on Watering Hole with a nice defensive one can be pretty nice. Also, Isis is decent there as well. So yeah, Odin and Loki on Watering Hole with the High Hunt can go well, but you're also dealing with kind of a closed off map, so that can be a little bit of a negative as well. So I mean, it's a challenging
Mhm.
decision to make as to which way you want to go. But first map, Ghost Lake, Hades Ra. Will this finally be the
Cyclops time.
Cyclops, Winston?
You
Will
just
it be
want
with
it.
the Cyclops?
I mean, if there's ever a time, is it now? Is it against
What?
Raw? If there's 2 safe gold mines, I don't know. Because I feel like then you could just spam priests and not like super care about your timings.
True.
Hmm. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. If there's only 1 gold, I could see it. A pestilence rush, maybe. Slow everything down. If
All
the
right.
temple's built forward and you're able to kill it really quickly with the first couple Cyclops, like on a reveal,
Mm.
maybe it could be good.
This is the strat, Winston.
Okay, tell me the strat.
Shout out to John Arbiter.
Okay, John
You
Arbiter.
build like 3 or 4 Cyclops, whole bunch of Toxotes, Underworld, and then you can jump in and out of the Underworld, sniping everything, throwing big fat balls of fury with the Cyclops. They're not balls. They could be balls. Boulders. Boulders
At
of human
the people,
at
yeah.
enemy archers,
You're
and
holding like a horse with
that's
a dude
true.
on it. It's I think that's the most incredible part is when you pick up a Hippias, for example, with the Cyclops, you hold both of them. Like you got to that's like some hand, right? To be able to hold both the horse and the rider, keep them together and throw them the same direction. Like you'd think the guy would fall off the horse,
That's right. You think,
but they
but
don't.
He's just so strong. Cyclops is keeping them there, but we've got a game here, Winston. We'll see if we see Cyclops turn up, and we're going to be seeing reDo on the Ra. We're going to be seeing Pegasus on the Hades, and we're already seeing the goats of Goat's Lake getting claimed by Pegasus nice and fast. He runs in, claims all the whole 3 packs of those ones in the center. That's going to be a great win for him. Ra doesn't really have any business claiming those because, well, if he wants to grab him, he's got to use the Pharaoh. And as everyone knows, you want to leave that Pharaoh in your main base, empowering the Monument to get that big fat Monument empowerment bonus happening. So Pegasus gets a bit of a win there. But the question is, it's a 1 gold mine Ghost Lake. To me, if I'm playing this from the Greek side against the Ra, all I'm thinking about is that's a long way for you to go to get that second gold mine, and you're going to be chewing through it very, very quickly if you decide to farm. So I want to go 1 town center here. I want to get a timing attack on that second gold mine, 10 minutes into the game. Try and make it work.
Yeah, it could work. Like, I could see it happening. You know? It could happen. Anything could happen, boy. It could be Cyclops time. It could be Smash.
Cyclops goes Smash, but they also go Throw. We do see some double. He's left 2 villagers on the favor here. I mean, this is looking to me like a pretty standard, coming to be standard build order for Hades. Time and time again, we see build order innovations, and this is no different. The fast Volta Erebus build has been popularized recently. Basically, you get this tech, you get an extra 2 gold a second. You can get yourself an advanced time of 3 minutes and 45 seconds on this map here for Pegasus, and you can get the pressure going very, very quickly. We see 3 villagers onto the temple already to get that favor income, to get it out even quicker. And with a fast advance behind this, not only do you get a ridiculously good tech, it's basically worth like 2.5 to 3 villagers on gold before any upgrades applied, right? But you also get a fast advance, so you can put pressure onto your opponents to take away their economy. So you get economy and you take your opponent's economy away at the same time. So it looks like it's going to be a standard 4-minute advance for Pegasus rather than trying to rush out the other one.
Goat check on Goat Lake. How are the goats for reDo? It doesn't look good. Looking at how many goats, yeah. That's a big difference. 5 compared to Pegasus with many. 18 goats. That's a lot of goats. That's a big goat diff.
Honestly, I would honestly be considering here just rushing out husbandry as well. But he doesn't have a granary yet. Yeah, you get so much more food. And with husbandry, goats now gather at the same rate as hunt, so you don't have to leave your base.
But it will not be Cyclops time. No Smash, no Throw. Just Axe.
It's like these guys don't understand. I was told Cyclops are overpowered. That's what I was told. Someone delivered me false knowledge because nobody's going for Ares. We are seeing Athena. We are seeing Bast. I've also been told Sphinx are very, very good. And I'm excited to see reDo trying to use these here. When you're playing as Greek, one of the hardest things to deal with is being stuck in the classical age against more than 2 myth units.
Especially fast ones, right? Fast myth units are the problem, myth units,
right? Exactly.
It's really tricky when you try to play like 2 TC and stuff like that. But if you're only playing 1 TC, it's not the end of the world. You can try and wall, you can hold up, and then your opponent's invested in this unit. And the Sphinx really doesn't come online until you get both upgrades, right? That's when it becomes like a menace, right? That's when it's scary. It gets the second upgrade gives it a huge burst in speed. It goes up to what, like 6.6 or 6.4 speed? I forget the number. It gets fast with that second upgrade. But again, you're training those. You have to build the monument. You have to then get the upgrades. It's a big investment. So if you're only getting like 1 TC and playing defense, Pegasus can just go up, right? Like that's kind of the counterplay here. It's just wall, don't take damage, go up, and then you have curse, and it's like then what? Like now what?
Yeah, anytime a player goes for sort of like mass myth unit plays, generally speaking, the answer is just tech.
Just don't,
because they're spent. Well, if you don't die, right?
I mean, already. And so here you can see you get the 15% speed. That's the big game changer.
Yeah. The Achilles is now spotted. The reDo just walks straight into that Achilles there for Pegasus, and Pegasus is going to be chasing that one back. Great split there from reDo, but there's an Ajax already waiting over on that side.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate for this guy. Oh my gosh. I've never seen less value out of the opening Sphinx play, but that's brutal. It'll kind of come online now. Now he can actually outrun Ajax with the speed. Yeah, and it's 6-1, so I was wrong on the number, but it's fast. Wait, what?
He sniped.
What?
I'm going to ask
He
how.
must have forgotten. Right.
I must have.
He probably clicked it and didn't even notice the Ajax, right?
Maybe there was a
In the
ghost
first
building on the walls that's going up. No, there was a gap there. I don't know.
No, I think he clicked it up there when he did the split and just never saw the Ajax that we saw,
Yeah.
right? Because obviously we
Yeah, I
saw
think
it
so.
because it was not in the fog of war because we're observing. But he wasn't observing. He had to not see the unit. And then he just didn't look. That's such a shame for Pegasus there. Sorry, for reDo there. Gonna slow things down a bit.
Well, he's still got favor coming through. It's never going to stop. He's going through Sobek. No surprises there. And there is something scary on the cards coming in the next 75 seconds, and that is Locust with Sphinx. The Sphinx forced the villagers one way, the Locust cleans them up.
It's really
And
scary
Locust
again.
hurts. I am the victim of Locust. I'm a sad Locust victim. We'll see if Pegasus is going to be able to get through it or not. He does have restoration. You can use that to counter the Locust in a big way, but you got to be quick.
It's bigly. I think what's interesting about that is like Locust went from being just a joke of a god power to I think one of the better ones in terms of overall value, right? Like not great, but the recast is pretty cheap. Like
Very
you
cheap.
can get a second one, and I feel like being able to reliably get 2 Locusts, one for like maybe a good early game fight, and a second when your opponent just invests into farm and you immediately kill it all. It's not a meme. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, to be honest, as much as it wasn't a great god power before, there was a very nice usage of it, which was just killing off your opponent's farm, stealing like.
Yeah.
You can kill off if your opponent has like 12 farms around their town center and has them all surrounded. You can get 10 of them with a nice locust, plus idling all the villagers for that locust. So it's like it's not nothing. It's not maybe not a heroic age value, but it's 50 favor, so you can do that on repeat.
Yeah.
So it's something for sure. But now you're killing potential villagers, but it's not happening just yet. reDo going up in the corner of the map here. Pegasus, he hasn't quite been able to get out onto the map and do anything. So reDo gets a pretty free second gold mine secure here. And there's still going to be Eclipse on the table. And there's going to be a really big timing here for reDo to do to Pegasus what I would have expected Pegasus to be doing to reDo here, which is getting that gold star on that second gold mine.
Interesting we're seeing so many stables, just pure stable here. So the play is going to be Padromos. The Padromos makes sense, right? It counters the entire Migdol, and that's what Raw wants to play into in this situation because we did see Bast, right? So we're not getting the Slinger play, right, out of Raw here. So it kind of opens up a bit of a different path here. And the Padromos is going to be pretty solid, countering most of the Migdol pretty handily.
Yeah.
You have to be able to afford them. Like, they're a really high food unit. So it's really hard to like max, and you can see that problem here. It's like he's got all 3 queued up for now, but is that going to remain the case? I mean, going to be relying on the pigs for now, the goats, to do this.
The one weakness, so to speak, about Prodromus is that they don't really have a crazy high amount of HP, right? Maybe I'm misremembering. It's like one, not Hippias, the Prodromus. They have tons of HP. Never mind. I take it all back. So you kind of need to. I thought for some reason they were a little bit less than the less than the Hippias, but nonetheless. The play is as soon as your opponent hits the heroic age, you just start making spearmen. But you've also got myth units that can deal with them as well. That's where I was going with that. But the smith units are still going to be good even if they've got 160 HP on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tricky part because like you can see what's happening, right? We're investing in all these Padromos, but we're using all of our goats to do it. We're not on hunt. We're in our base. That's the risk of Pegasus right now. Is he doesn't really have a future, right? He's not securing a future. It's if the Padromos don't win a fight in a big way, things are going to get ugly quickly, right? And they kind of
Mm.
have to. And it's tricky, like you're saying. That's a lot of myth units. It's a lot of AoE tornado stuff. And Locust isn't so bad on units as well, especially if you pair it with Eclipse. It does a
True, yeah,
lot of
yeah.
damage really
Doesn't
quickly.
it get a
So like,
bonus or something, right? The army
yeah,
is coming in, though, for Pegasus. He's trying to force something here. reDo retreating away for the time being, but anytime he retreats, that's just going to mean more damage coming onto his units. I don't know what he's waiting for. He's got Sphinx. He's got everything here to turn and take a fight.
yeah. I'm surprised he's not turning.
I mean, there's just so many prodromas here. Is he throwing down barracks now? I'm not 100% sure. It looks like Pegasus says not going to overchase you. I like that call. You don't know what you're running into. And instead, he's going to turn onto the villagers, onto the gold mine. And now we're finally seeing those barracks coming down. Is it too little too late to make a transition into Spearman right now, Winston?
The units are so far away. The Vills on the gold are going to have to get caught out. And it might be a little late. He's waiting for Darkwater to come in. That's the big thing we're waiting for. That's going to give him some opportunity. The Eclipse comes out. And we could see, yep, there's the Locust on.
That's not really a great group. Hits a couple of units, but Restoration coming through as well.
But
it all gets cancelled. It all gets cancelled. Those Sphinx, though, those will carry this fight if Pegasus can't get onto this. Also, there's Migdol Strongholds getting some serious damage done. But population-wise, Pegasus, he's in a great spot right now. He's got the Prodroma still alive. He's taken out the Sphinx. The Sphinx are all dealt with. The Patsukos on the back also going to be going down. And now the gold is done for reDo. He's got no gold mines. This game could be over in this instant.
Yeah, and all the Vills are still there. Keep in mind, the Vills are just trapped in that Migdol.
Yeah, they're trapped there. They can't get out of here.
They're like, help!
Help this big scary army.
On the wrong door. It's confusing. Everything's on fire.
There's farmers riding a horse with a spearman. What's happening? reDo taps out. GG. I mean, that was what was going to happen here. Either reDo was going to destroy that fight with the Eclipse and the Locust, or Pegasus were going to just absolutely own there and get the gold staff.
Yeah.
And reDo, yeah. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, we talked about it a bit, but like, yeah, just a lot of stuff happened there really quickly. Like the Prodromos worked, right? So he was using all the goats, like all into this moment, and it absolutely worked out for him super well. You can see that fight went super hard for him. And then, yeah, reDo just kind of countering the entire Eclipse Locust combo is rough. This is why it's just awkward, right? Like, you're not Isis, it's not Ancestors Eclipse, right? It's just not the same potency. It's not the same punch.
Yeah.
It's awkward there. And a little late to Darkwater. It's just awkward. It's just awkward.
In my experience playing as Ra against Greek, effectively what you need to do is you need to have the barracks up.
Yeah.
In anticipation for the heroic age to come in. If you miss that, as soon as you see the heroic age, time to put barracks down. You can't wait because those prodromas are going to come and they're going to dominate that Migdol army. Now, if you've got a front line or you've got something there to kind of tank up for your chariot archer, your camel riders, now you're having a good fight. Now you're enjoying yourself. But realistically, if you don't have the answers to those counter units, you're going to lose. And Pegasus played it to perfection there and showed exactly why that's the case. But we're going to be moving into another game here. On the map ordering hole, we're seeing yet another Norse mirror. And Winston, I've seen this matchup already with Pegasus as the Freya player, but he was playing against Matrius, and I believe he lost that game. The question is, will he have learnt from those mistakes, or will reDo know how to approach this matchup with that Loki here? Because it's not simple.
I feel like when played optimally, though, Loki is the king of the Norse mirrors. I feel like I see it time and time again. I feel like when I play any of the Norse and I play against any other Norse, Loki is the one I always hate playing against the most. Yeah. It feels so hard to play classical. That's to me the biggest thing. And then early heroic as well. Like it just combos perfectly with Bragi. So it's just hard. It's just hard, man. Like everything is so good for Loki. I don't know. It just sucks. Like obviously the other gods have, you have Odin with the mobility and the HP. With Freyr, you have the timing and the tempo of the eco. With Thor, you have just a shit ton of resources to work with. But Loki, the throwing axeman, just beat everything. They're just
They
better.
do. They're
They win the
so
throwing
good.
X-Men mass, and that's often what it comes down to is RC throwing X-Men, right? And
Yeah.
their throwing X-Men crunch everything you make. It's just hard, okay? It's just hard to play.
It it is. It is hard to play. But I guess the question is there an angle here for Pegasus? Or does he have to just go, bugger, I got this matchup. Let's just kind of try our best, go next, and then try and win in the next on the Anatolia map. And we'll have to wait and see. But I'm personally I'm excited. I think there's got to be some angle here for Freya. Some weakness of Loki that pops up if you play into it well enough, you can kind of find an advantage here. But we're about to jump in to game number 2.
Did the draft
As we
swap
see in the
around?
bottom.
I thought reDo had Zeus.
I don't know anything about anything.
Okay.
Let's get this game going.
Whatever.
We can worry about game 3 if we
Who
get
matter?
there.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I was just thinking about the next game. Okay. Let's take a look. Pegasus versus reDo. Interesting. reDo with the 3 ox cart start. I don't know how I feel about that. I never liked adding the 3rd ox cart. I feel like it's
With Loki, you've got access to the cheaper ox carts. So if you build 2 ox carts, it's kind of like your Norse opponent only building 1.
Okay.
And so it makes some sense if you're playing on the Loki side of things. It also doesn't really slow you down in any way.
Okay.
So at some point you have to build it.
Makes
So
sense.
why not straight away? I guess that's what he's saying.
Makes sense. Yeah,
Pegasus, on the other hand,
efficiency on the first gather on wood rather than doing a strag. Like it makes sense. It makes sense.
Pegasus, on
can
the
tell
other
I play
hand,
Loki
is
a
he
lot.
doing some sort of fancy build order? Does he have an upgrade already in? Because he's missing some stuff. Pegasus on the Frere. Yeah, he's got both his hand axe and pickaxe already.
That's good. That's what you need to do. Hand axe is important. We saw a player earlier today. For context, we saw a player earlier today getting hand axe on Freyr much later, but didn't seem to matter.
Not in that game.
Didn't matter. So who knows?
I mean, tangibly right now, what does hand axe actually give you? You've got 2 villages, so you're getting 0.2 wood a second faster.
But that matters, right? It's
I'm not saying it doesn't.
Otherwise,
I'm just saying that's how much you get at the moment for having it.
That's also good because the moment you go to wood, like usually when Norse adjust up, they put like 4 or 5 on wood right away, right?
Yeah, and then they don't. Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like immediately having that income.
Totally. I mean, but the weakness of this, obviously, right? Maybe it's going to be a weakness, maybe it's not. We're seeing it be slight weakness in quotation marks as reDo going to be advancing through Forseti. Berserk going out for Pegasus. Yeah. Pegasus advancing through Ulla, but he's going to be getting a 424 advance time. Slightly later. But he's going to get some scouting out, which is really important. And reDo is sitting in his base, which this is already slightly different than what we saw in the series where Pegasus played against Matris. Matris was all in the center of the map, taking full map control. reDo is playing maybe a little bit too defensively, I would say, to kick this game off. Walls coming through for Pegasus as well. He's going to be defended. But he's been spied. He knows what's happening. So reDo's going to move in and hit this really, really early, you'd have to say.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the layout here. This is one of the watering hole maps where there's that big gap on the right. So the hunters on the right are actually quite exposed, and Pegasus might not actually anticipate that. He's actually walled off the left, which is walled already, instead of the right, which is open, which is very unfortunate for him. But sometimes that's what Norse players have to deal with when they spend so much time with their starting Berserk, like pushing in resources, right? Like that's kind of what happens. Although I don't even
well, you don't have the time to scout the map here generally, so you don't know that that's open. I mean, you can figure it out if you wall that off and you don't put a gate. You can then right click past it, and then the Berserk doesn't move, if the berserk runs off to the right, you know, okay, well that's open then, so I've got to go and fix that gap up. But you have to be thinking about it, and
Yeah, it's tricky.
at this point, really, I think all Pegasus is thinking about is, I'll DRM against Loki. I'll DRM against Loki. I'll DRM against Loki.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Making units. So throwing axeman going to be the play, as one does with Loki nowadays. I think there's kind of the two styles, right? You can either roll into massing Perseus, or you go more standard Norse comp of a lot of throwing axemen. And I think in the mirror, the throwing axemen comp just makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
And we see that all the time. All the time.
I like
That's
this little
Eisenhower
upgrade
force.
here from. I like this little upgrade here from Pegasus. It takes a while for him to get it, but
It's cheap.
it's only costing him 200 resources, right? Stone walls, an extra 100% hit points on those walls, an extra
Almost
500 hit
that
points.
gate that's researching it.
It could be. I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think he knows to do it in the back. Oh no, it is.
Oh, dear.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Was it going to
He
tell?
gets the resources back. It's not the worst thing in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he still invested him for a long time. They were stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. But all of this to be said, Pegasus has now been able to retreat back home. He's wasted all this time with this army that's come out. He's giving himself more time to get upgrades. His watchtowers is going to get completed really, really shortly. He's got an armory up to get himself some of those armory upgrades to compete in a fight. If he can get himself that copper weapons, copper mail, then the extra bonus that Loki has is going to be less of a big deal. But reDo, he's going very aggressive right now. He's going to take this forward tower down. It will take him a while. And Pegasus is looking for a little bit of a counter raid while this is all going on.
Some damage comes out. The Draugr and the throwing axeman on the back, able to find some value.
That Draugr, if he can just shoot those throwing axemen there, they'll wind up perfectly for him.
It's just hard. A lot of micro here. And we did see a couple.
Honestly, this Draugr is getting some great value.
Just to try and get reinforcements. Yeah, it's decent value. There's favor though. The favor income here for reDo. He's still sitting on healing springs.
Yeah, he hasn't used
back up
it.
to heal.
Or he could be really, really greedy and just put it right down, right on the front, just
Only
like, come
if you
get
really
me.
know you're gonna win, right? You don't
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in
And
the
this
middle
is-
of the map where all of his buildings are could make sense.
This
He
is.
was just gonna back up and heal, right?
I mean, that's something he probably should do at some point. But at this point, picking off buildings when you're playing against Norse is one of the kind of most challenging things to kind of recover from as the Norse player, because you need to defend the army, but you also need to be using the army to build. And then you're like, well, I'm losing buildings. I can't attack the army. I can't build. I can't do it. And then you take a fight and you haven't done anything. You lose all your dudes, and then you cry.
Yeah, and it's especially bad for players because you're idle. Like these military buildings are so important because you're idle for so long. And so he's just taking out the front of the base. This is gonna make whoa. Okay.
That's aggressive.
Not
I like
not
it.
as aggressive as it could have been.
No.
Right, it could have been more of a throw. But this is certainly an aggressive position. And you know what's interesting? He's also maybe not noticed that the right side of the map is open.
No.
So there could be
this-
potential for a play later. I don't know if it'll come into play, but
It's interesting, right? At the moment, it's completely open on that side, but there's nothing over there. He's getting raided still by a couple of those raiding cavalry, it looks like. Pegasus is still getting active and still trying to do something, but the village is turning around and fighting this army there to defend. Pegasus got to get out of there. But Pegasus is trying to get to the heroic age. And reDo here, he's not really going to be able to stop him. Market going to be coming up. There's already an armory. He doesn't need the market. Though the market's probably there to trade for some
Balance.
resources at the moment.
yeah, because he's off of gold. So that's
Yeah.
an important market.
But
Because-
would Aegir plus Tempest be enough for him to move out of his base and get a gold mine right now? That's the big question.
But it's not just gold. It's also about to be a problem. It's kind
Yeah.
of everything in a moment.
Yeah, everything goes onto wood. You sell wood, you build, throw an axeman. Tempest, get onto the gold. I think that's got to be the play. There's also a nice little bit of food on that left side there where the gold mine is.
Yeah.
So
But
if he
I don't know if
can
they're gonna
secure
hold
this,
that
it's going to
long.
be huge. Well, he's also
Right.
got the Asgardian Bastion here. So
He
I
hasn't
don't know.
plopped. You need to place it.
You have to place. You got to build it up. But with all the throwing action out, maybe you can sneak out there and make it happen. It's a bit of a risk though if he goes right now.
Well, we're also gonna have Golden Bursty on the field, so we're gonna have full God power up potential here, and reDo is looking for his own age up rather than press any advantage. He's been just aging up himself now.
I mean, to be completely honest, right now,
It's
I think that
good for
I think that reDo is playing into Pegasus's hand.
yeah.
I think the correct answer here for Loki is to say, you don't want to fight me, you want to tech. You're just playing super hyper defensive. No worries. Let me take 3 town centers. And I'm just going to boom here up until the Mythic Age, get a massive army, get a massive eco lead. Your half price techs don't matter when I've got 30, 40 more villagers than you. And we're good to go. But going for the heroic age right now, you're kind of just praying in a way that you can win this fight against Ghoul and Bursty, against Asgardian Bastion, against Tempest, potential Inferno as well, Nidhogg. It's all possible to come through.
Maybe, but the resource situation is really not good for Pegasus. He needs to move out to the left very soon. I'd love to see that Bastion come down on the left side of his base, right? On that gold. Cover the hunt.
I want
the
it
gold,
down.
cover the other gold there as well. But he's just playing super safe because he kind of has to. I don't know. He's going to try and move in again.
He's getting himself medium or heavy infantry, heavy cavalry.
Bastion.
There's
This might be the go
Bastion.
time. This might be go time.
The Bastion
can
does
divide
come
it.
up quite quickly when you've got
Yeah,
that many
that many
units on it. We often see it get used at the start of the game, and it can take like up to a whole minute. And there's the town center finally coming up for reDo. It's a bit of a weird timing. It takes around about 5 minutes for a town center to pay itself off, and this is just going to give Pegasus all the time in the world here to maybe make a push out.
Well, mainly to secure his own resources, right? I feel like that's the big thing here, is that he gets to secure this gold, which for a while he's been off of, right? But now, not so much.
Yeah, and also tech advantage now as well. So it's reDo's now said, okay, I'm going to have an eco loss for having that town center now. Well, after I just tech, my opponent's going to be way in front on tech. Plus military. This is scary. He's got the healing spring as well. This is scary for reDo. Not sure what his plan is actually going to be right now, because he can't. I mean, if you fight Tempest versus flaming weapons, like who wins? I don't know if I've seen that yet.
Loki with flaming weapons. If his units are hitting the counter unit, it's just devastating. Alright, everything used, and he's gonna back up. So, flaming weapons not used. The healing spring is seeded. The Ghoul and Bursty, where was it?
I don't know, but it's not going to do anything.
Crazy positioning.
What? Why? Why not wait? Just wait for flaming weapons. Take the fight. Just you have to take advantage.
Waited, right? But now flaming weapons is an option.
It's very much an option.
About to get very scary. Although that Ghoul and Bursty is still on the field, so maybe just wait that out, right? 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You've already waited, 30 seconds behind your optimal timing, so what's another 20? Although losing some RC on the back of that quickly is rough.
Look, the other thing is the Granite Maw coming through, those rock giants going to be in.
Immortal. Yeah.
Like, even with flaming weapons, you have to wait out 3 special abilities of the rock giant here, and if Pegasus is using these correctly, which I'm sure he's going to be somewhat aware of how to make this happen, is you put him onto manual cast and you just ensure that you're not overlapping the stuns.
We're gonna get the fight. He's just going for it, YOLO style. Flaming weapons comes out. Not really getting the RC in the right spot to kill the throwing action, but maybe just hoping that if he kills the front line, it's going to be enough. But the rock giants, there's just so many of them.
And he's just tagging. Look at the back line of reDo. It's just throwing all of its axes into one of those rock giants. reDo's got to retreat. He's got flaming weapons and he's got to retreat. Pegasus's army is absolutely gigantic at this point. Is pushing forward even into this flaming weapons of reDo. The stun comes through, or the taunt comes through onto those thrown action, and the rest of them from Pegasus are just going to completely massacre what reDo's got remaining. It's 156 population to 105, Winston.
Yeah, things are looking really, really good now, but I don't know. reDo's just got nothing left. He's lost his forward base. He's lost his healing spring. So even these rock giants could heal up on anything now. They can defeat the building. They can defeat the base.
Yep.
The base are belong to us.
I love that animation. How good is that?
Yeah, they're hungry, bro. They're hungry boys. Hungry big boys. Or not those giants. There's even a nice sound effect. I love the helmets. I love this unit. I love the units for Rare. I think it's so cool.
The one, okay, all right, but the one saving grace for reDo right now is he's got an eco advantage. Not that it's going to be a big deal if Pegasus puts some good pressure on right now, but Pegasus does need to get moving and get some damage done, get his talent centers down, get his economy going, punish reDo a little bit more. He's already got a tech advantage. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe having a 20 villager lead here is not going to mean anything. See in the production queue, bronze weapons, bronze mail coming through, all of the eco ups coming in as well. So Pegasus is going to be having an absolute awesome time with this Godfrey moving forward.
Crazy games, boy. This is some nuts stuff. I don't even know. Like, this is... I don't know how you deal with this. Like, so reDo's attempting to go into full hearse here, right?
Yeah.
Like, a big
has
map
to.
with them. But, like, I don't even know if this works. Like, I don't even think this functions anymore. There's just too many throwing axemen on the field for me to believe in a Hersier map.
Yeah. Goaty, make no sense. Herso, make no sense. What do you build? Was this just a mistake not to go Njord and make maybe Jarls? Ringgiver Jarls could have probably been an answer for those rock giant throwing axeman composition, but it's too little too late. You can't wind the clock back and say, oh, I don't want Froggy anymore, give me the other one. But a nice little attack coming through here for reDo. If he takes down that town center, it's going to be very, very significant.
Yeah, just kind of neutralizing that TC fence to keep things simple. But the rock giants are here, so he might get caught trying to leave. A couple of units go down on the back, but it's not ideal. It's not perfect. Oh my gosh, boy, this game is heating up, but I feel like the rock giant count is still going to be the biggest problem. The battle board are going to go down here. I just don't see the answer. Vidar as well, and you can see how reDo's sort of backing his wall into this corner. Sorry, his back is up against the wall in this little corner of this pocket of his base, like the little entrance, and oh my gosh, Inferno here could just be massive. Especially with this.
It's not just that.
You can get taunted into a chaos, basically.
Exactly. You just can't do anything against it. He's going to be going for the fight. The Hersa are gone. I don't see any Hersa left. There's Goaty, but look at how much damage they're doing to the rock. The rock giant just doesn't die. It's just sitting here laughing at those Goaty throwing their spears. The entirety of reDo's army just gets absolutely deleted for a second time here, Winston. This is just an absolute domination, this death ball which Pegasus has created. What can reDo realistically do at this point?
Well, I mean, like you said, he has to bank on his larger economy to try and take long-term trades that are favorable. He has got a couple hearts here once again in this front here, pushing some units back with the battle boars. But it's just not enough. His whole mass is going to go down. The throwing axemen are just so strong at this point. Oh boy, these rock giants, they just don't stop.
Yeah,
Rock and
we
stone, baby. And now Goaty. so reDo's just going through everything. He's like, maybe Herser weren't the answer with this many throwing axemen. I'm gonna try Goaty now. So now he's mixing it up into the Goaty switch. Gonna try and get those ranged units, but it's really tricky with Goaty against rock giants as well. It's really tricky with Goaty against any myth unit with high ranged armor, and rock giants are one of them. It's just so hard to actually deal enough damage. You need a lot of goatee. It's kind of like priests, right? You need like 20 of them, 15
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
to like really start.
At least
to feel like
at least with priests, they're doing divine damage. Goaty, they're doing pierce damage. And while they do have a very big multiplier, it's just you're scratching that rock armor. And they're just like,
oh, the Kraken comes in because the dog immediately deletes the Kraken.
and honestly, right now, you don't even have to use Inferno on the army. You can just click it onto the town center.
I think you saved it for a juicy moment, right? You've got the game kind of cleared up. Like you don't need to use it in haste here. You have tempo and timing on your side, right? That's how I would play this here, right? It's like I have control. I'm gonna keep fighting you until you give me an Inferno I can't pass up on, right? Because eventually it'll happen.
We're also seeing the Rock Giants moving into that hometown center, going to be trying to deny any sort of potential myth bag. That's a lot of goatee.
Just tickle the Giants. Oh no. Hero counter, by the way. That's a myth unit counter right there. Oh my gosh, they just don't kill them. Here's the Inferno right on top.
Right, and there it goes straight to the town center.
Oh no. They're gonna go in, pop out just in time. Several units go down.
I was he gets all the, not all the goatee, but he gets the town center, most of the goatee, and Pegasus takes the dub there, Winston.
Crazy.
This Pegasus, he's just done what I just didn't think was possible with this god. I keep on seeing this god surprise me over and over and over again. But I mean, maybe reDo just didn't have the right approach in this one.
I think there was that timing where he built the wall in the small choke point when Pegasus was going up, and it's like you built the wall. It's like he was building a market in the back because it was that desperate. I think there was a chance if he had been in position, just camping the golds more actively, rather than, like you said, he took the TC at an awkward timing. I feel like that was kind of the moment where it kind of slipped, right? Maybe instead of that TC, he just has more army and attacks that gold and has enough to fight it. Or like you said at the start, it's like, yeah, as soon as your opponent is playing defense and not fighting you, you just immediately had 2 TCs, right? And really punish that defensive play. But we didn't see that. We saw kind of a half step into both approaches. And generally in RTS, that doesn't quite work very well. Because you kind of get caught doing both things poorly rather than one thing well. And I think that could have been the issue here for reDo, although it's hard to say because he had more economy. It could have just come down to Rock Giants being kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, what do you... I kind of know what you do against Rock Giants in a way. You want to build heroes, but obviously goatee don't work. The pierce armor is too high. You can't build Herso because the throw and axemen are too massed. So what do you have to build? I guess the answer is Fire Giant, Frost Giant. You've got to get to the Mythic Age. You've got to get Hell in.